DF64V Second Generation, a grinder that has gained immense popularity among coffee lovers. It is solidly built, has 64mm DLC burrs, adjustable RPM, plasma generator. Is this the recipe for the perfect grinder? I'm checking it out. My grinder comes from the AVX distribution, so it has the company logo. I bought it in my country directly from one of the sellers. In the box, apart from the grinder and manuals, you will find elements such as a dosing cup, a wooden base for the dosing cup, a bellows, a magnetic coffee outlet, an RDT spray bottle, and an Allen key. My grinder is black, but silver and grey are also available. The DF64V, despite having 64mm flat burrs, is a really slim grinder. The width with buttons is only 11 cm, length 20 cm, and height 32 cm. This makes it a perfect fit next to my EM3801 espresso machine. The construction is solid, mostly aluminum and stainless steel, with wood accents such as the dosing cup base and the bellows cover. The housing, dosing cup, and coffee spout are aluminum, and the grinding chamber is stainless steel. On the left side, there is a knob and a display. Here we can set the revolutions per minute from 800 to 1800. On the right side, there is a button that starts grinding the coffee. This grinder is not equipped with a portafilter holder, so by default you have to grind into a dosing cup or, for example, a blind shaker. The MHW3 Bomber variant works great with this grinder. Luckily, there is a 3D printable portafilter holder project that I have tested and it works great. Since the DF64V is a single-dose grinder, its design is tilted. This provides less retention, and thanks to the bellows, we can easily push out the remaining particles after grinding. The grinder is equipped with an anti-popcorn element, which is especially important at faster revolutions per minute. The DF64V is equipped with 64mm flat stainless steel burrs with a DLC coating. This means that they are extremely resistant to damage and sharper. Thanks to DLC, the durability of these burrs is much greater, although in home use it is not that important. It must also be admitted that they look nice. The burrs have standard screw holes, so you can replace them with other 64mm burrs, depending on your preferences. The geometry of these burrs reminds me most of standard espresso burrs, such as the SSP espresso or Hyper Burst espresso. Unfortunately, I have noticed that the DLC coating tends to wear off, and there are slight dents in the burrs. I have also seen similar damage on Reddit, and it seems to me that the stock burrs are not of the highest quality. I doubt that the coffee I use could cause this, although it is worth remembering that there is always a risk of a stone or other foreign body getting into the coffee beans. Take this information as a curiosity, not as a final opinion on the quality of the burrs, as there is a chance that my coffee beans could have contributed to the defects. The aluminum coffee spout is magnetic and can be easily removed for cleaning. The base for the dosing cup is made of wood and is not connected to the grinder in any way. This is annoying because you have to put it back in place every time. I solved this easily. I cut equal strips of magnetic tape and attached them to the grinder base and the dosing cup base, which makes it sit firmly in place. The dosing cup is made entirely of aluminum. It is not magnetic because the base of the dosing cup also does not have any magnetic element in the middle. The inside of the dosing cup is also aluminum, which means it is very static and collects a lot of coffee particles. Honestly, I don't use dosing cups like that at all, as I prefer steel ones. The grinder has a stepless adjustment. With the included Allen key, you can set the zero level to the right place. In my case, the zero level was set almost perfectly. To adjust the grinder, turn the top cover into which you pour the beans. The DF64V Second Generation has a plasma generator, which is designed to reduce the static of the coffee. Unfortunately, It is encased in a plastic element, and after some time it seems to get clogged with coffee particles, so it is necessary to regularly clean the outlet of ground coffee thoroughly. The RPM of the grinder is adjustable from 800 to 1800 in 100 RPM increments. Personally, I don't like to grind too fast because it causes more fines and retention. I usually use 1100 RPM for espresso. I have never encountered any blocking of the grinder due to too low RPM. The retention of this grinder without the RDT is really very good, averaging 0.1 to 0.2 grams. However, I have noticed that the static of the coffee is high in the grinding chamber and at the end of the ground coffee outlet, so I continue to use the RDT, which reduces the static a bit. Sometimes after grinding is finished, the grinder makes a specific sound, which is caused by coffee getting stuck between the burrs. I have not encountered this situation with conical burrs. Apparently, this is typical for DF grinders and does not interfere with everyday use. To disassemble the DF64V, first remove the bellows, then unscrew the top chamber with the grind level indicator counterclockwise. I also remove the ground coffee outlet, as this element also requires regular cleaning. Next, remove the grind level scale by unscrewing it counterclockwise. If you want, you can also detach the anti-popcorn element for cleaning. Remove the top element with the upper burr, remembering that it must be assembled in the same way. My grinder had a marker marking, but if yours doesn't, it's a good idea to mark it with a marker. At this point, I use an air blower, vacuum cleaner, and brushes to clean the inside of the grinder, the burrs, and the ground coffee outlet. You can also unscrew the burrs from their bases. I don't do this because I don't want to re-level my burrs. Once you've cleaned your grinder, you can reassemble your grinder. Simply put all the parts back in place. I bought this grinder with espresso in mind, so in this video I'll show you the espresso workflow. I use a standard 18-gram dose of medium roast Brazilian coffee, aiming for a 1:2 ratio, which means about 36 grams of espresso. In my case, the RPM is 1100 and the grind level is about 25. Remember, you'll have to find the right values for your grinder, especially when it comes to the grind level. This process is called dialing. I managed to get the extraction with a 5-second pre-infusion in about 33 seconds, which is exactly what I wanted. The grinder handles espresso perfectly, and I'm very happy with the results. The DF64V Generation 2 seems to be a good grinder, with a nice, if at times strange design. It has a few minor issues, which I mentioned in the review, but overall I think it's a pretty good grinder. If the manufacturer decided not to separate the base for the dosing cup and use magnetic elements in this place, the workflow would be a bit better. Do you also have a DF64V grinder? Maybe you're considering buying it? I'd be happy to answer your questions in the comments. I hope you liked the video. I encourage you to rate it and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.